China's dominance on the global sphere continues to rise. It brings into question a number of key issues for business and markets across the Asia-Pacific region. The Trans-Pacific Partnership Agreement is a relatively new regional free trade alliance which builds on an existing agreement between New Zealand, Chile, Singapore and Brunei Darussalam. Now, the negotiations now include the United States, Australia, Peru, Vietnam and Malaysia, with several others expressing interest in joining. Former OECD Deputy Secretary-General Joanna Shelton is in Sydney this week to present a paper on the US perspective of the Trans-Pacific Partnership at today's Alliance 21 Trade and Investment Forum. She joins us now live from our CBD studio to discuss. And Joanna, a very warm welcome to you. Some say the Trans-Pacific Partnership is the most secretive and least transparent trade negotiations in history. What's your evaluation?
Negotiation has a strong element of secrecy, if you will, or keeping your cards close to your vest. This one is no exception. I think certainly one can always hope to get more information out there about it, but frankly, if you look out there, there's a lot of information available, even though the negotiating texts themselves have not been released to the public.
Now, you highlight the framework of the TPP may ultimately not be beneficial for American domestic business. Why?
Not American business. I look at it in terms of the effect on American labor, particularly the middle-skilled, middle-income workers who in the past 10 years or so have been the ones that have gained the least from the global marketplace. And we do see just a strong shift of workers into the higher end of higher skill, higher income, and lower end, lower skill employment, with a large swath of our middle-income, middle-skill workers being left behind or not having as much opportunity as one would like them to see.
Well, surely government there, we know that the labour market is a serious issue of contention for the Obama administration right now. Surely they should be taking steps to really bolster this sector of the market and the economy moving forward. What more needs to be done? How can this, I guess, play into potential policy?
Well, I think first of all, the TPP, I will say, I think is a good thing if we can achieve it. It certainly will bring benefits to a certain segment of our labor force, the high skill particularly. It will benefit our multinational corporations who are our global players. I think for the Obama administration, however, they do need to take a stronger look at domestic impediments to investment and production in the United States. Some of that is taking place now with attention on the fiscal cliff, but we need to pay much more attention to getting our fiscal house in order and then doing structural things. I mean, important things like improving our education in science, technology, and making our environment much more hospitable to businesses to want to invest and produce in the United States in addition to in Asia.
What about here in Australia? What sort of impact does the TPP have on our domestic, I guess, business, different sectors, labour market, etc.?
Well, now I have to say I haven't taken as close a look on the impact on Australia as I have on the United States. I think in terms of businesses that are engaged in international trade and investment, there's no doubt that the TPP will be beneficial. It will open up opportunities for them to trade and invest more widely and more easily within a wider network of Asia-Pacific economies.
The OECD last week highlighted the strength of Australia's economy. China undoubtedly a key driver of future domestic growth. How do you see the tiger economy influencing that broader Asia-Pacific region as it inches closer towards pipping the US as the top player globally?
Well, I think certainly if you look at the United States and the world economy, there's no doubt that the Asia-Pacific region is the growth region in the world. Population, economy, size of their economies, and that's why the administration is focusing so heavily on a regional trade agreement. I do, in my own paper, I do highlight some improvements that I think would make it an even more beneficial agreement for the United States and other countries, but certainly in terms of shared growth, we need to see more trade, more investment, more just flows between Asia, United States, Australia, that in the past, the post-war era has shown has brought tremendous growth opportunities for economies.
Australia this year introduced the carbon tax. It's received mixed response from business, but has played into the domestic inflation and competition tale here. What impact do you see climate change ultimately having on Asia-Pacific trade as a result of, I guess, existing policy and potential new policy?
Well, I think certainly, even in the United States now, as part of the fiscal cliff negotiations, they are beginning to talk for the first time seriously about a possible carbon tax that we might apply, which is a big step forward, at least in our political debate. In the United States, too, we're focusing on innovation and ways to use technology to help reduce the worst impact of climate change. We certainly have our climate change skeptics in the United States as well as in Australia and other countries, but let's assuming that this is taking place, which I think it is, we all have a shared interest in trying to bring our best minds and our best business innovations to bear to help deal with this serious problem.
Joanna Shelton, former OECD Deputy Secretary General, many thanks for your time today, and I wish you a very pleasant stay here in Sydney.
Thank you very much. I'm enjoying it very much.
Well, back to some calls.